Good morning and welcome to Iyun with Benzion, Xagiga Dav Zayin. This is really, I tested this Chiddush out on Avreichim Chashuvim, important Avreichim in this shul who learned in a different kollel. They were shocked by this Chiddush, they loved it. And I hope you love it too. The Gemara says on the top of Zayim Nala, Peyav Bikurim Harayon, the first Rayon, Bagmil Skalim in the Talmud Torah, they have no shear. This is a Mishnah and Peah, they have no shear. So the Gemara originally wants to find out what does it mean the Rayon is for reference to Olas Riyah. It has no shear. So the Gemara originally brings Machlokes Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish. Rabbi Yochanan says that you don't have to actually, the first day, everyone agrees, the first day when you come to the Beis HaMikdash, Yom Tov Rishon, you have to bring a korban, Olas Riyah. The second day and the rest of the Moed, you don't have to bring a korban. Reish Lakish holds whenever you come to the Aliyas HaRegel, you have to bring a korban. That is the original assumption of the Gemara. And when they say Rayon Ein Lo Shir, what does it mean Rayon Ein Lo Shir? That's talking about the value of the korban. The value of the korban you bring. Everyone agrees the first day you have to bring a korban. The value of the korban has no shir. Raisa. It can be even an animal worth $1, a penny, whatever the animal is worth. You could bring it. Midarabban, they're misaking that, like the Mishnah says, the Beis Hillel holds it has to be at least a mal kesef, significant amount. I would say $100. Okay, that's the first assumption of the Gemara. Then the Gemara says the last word of the last short line, Ella. The Gemara, based on a question from Yochanan Reish Lakish, that it says Yirah, Mani Bechinam, Afatem Bechinam. You see that you don't have to bring a korban, seemingly. Bechinam, Hashem is seen by you for free. Hashem comes to see you for free. He doesn't bring a korban to you. He doesn't give you anything. So you also can come to Hashem Bechinam. So you can come to the Azara even without a korban. Ella, the Gemara says, this is an important line. The Gemara says everyone agrees, Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish agree. You can come. Well, the seeming explanation is the ayil. You come mischazi, be seen by Hashem without a korban v'nafik, and you leave. V'nafik means you leave the Beis HaMikdash. Your yotzei, your olas or iya by just coming. Now this is gufa machlokes, and Reish Lakish argues on this. Reish Lakish says, seemingly Reish Lakish says, Reish Lakish says that you can come if you decide. This is the way to explain it. If you decide to bring a korban, you can bring ein lashir. You can bring the maximum. You can bring a korban anytime you want to come. And Yochanan says ein lashir that lamata that you can only bring a korban one time. You can't bring a korban more than one time. But the seeming explanation is you don't have to bring a korban. If you choose to bring a korban, then the machlokas in Yochanan and Reish Lakish is whether you can only bring one time during the regel, or Reish Lakish says you can bring it every time you come. That's the machlokas in Yochanan and Reish Lakish. Now, it seems to be clear from this Gemara, based on the Ella, and it seems to be maskan of the Gemara. The Gemara says Ella. Ella is a reversal of the original assumption. Like Rashi on Daf Beis, the first Rashi in the Masechta says mitzvah zol riyah is just to come to the Beis HaMikdash. That's the ikar mitzvah. That is the mitzvah. That's all you have to do. Tosos on Daf Beis Manal, the first Tosos, I believe, argues and says you have to actually bring a korban. Now the problem is again the Rambam. The Rambam is noted by Mistoras Ein Mishpat Ches, the top of the daf. He says he paskins in Hilchos Chagiga. Parakal, the first halacha in Hilchos Chagiga paskins that you have to bring a korban. Two chidushim in the Ram. First, you have to bring a korban when you come to Olas Riyah, and second of all, you can even bring a bird. Now, there's both of these statements are wrong. First of all, it's Ella. The Gemara seems to say we're reversing course. Everyone agrees you don't have to bring a korban. How could the Ram say you have to bring a korban for Olas Riyah? Secondly, how could he say you can bring an oath? The Brisa in the middle of Zayin and Allah clearly says Zvachim, v'lo ofos menachos. You have to bring zvachim for your olas riyah. So if you assume, even if you assume you have to bring a korban, it has to be an animal. It can't be a bird. Now, there's a big problem over here. Even though the maskana of the Gemara seemingly says that you don't have to come, there's still two psukim over here. There's, right, mani b'chinam avatam b'chinam, sounds like you don't have to bring anything, which is where the Gemara derives, seemingly the maskana of the Gemara, the conclusion of the Gemara is that you don't have to bring anything. But we still have another pasuk, v'lo yirah panei rikam. The Gemara never addresses what Rabbi Yochanan does with that thing. Even in the beginning of the Gemara, he's mode at least the first day you have to bring a korban. What do you do with that pasuk? Seeming the translation of that pasuk is that you can't come empty-handed to Hashem. Coming with your body to the Azara is called empty-handed, or something in your hands. Empty-handed means you have something in your hands. Problem, big problem. This is a problem with Tosfos, right? Even though Tosfos seemingly is a problem with is a problem seeming like this contradiction. The Yara Penei seems to say like Tosfos you have to bring a korban. So which one is it? So I want to read the Gemara two different ways according to Rashi and Tosfos. You can decide which way makes more sense to you, but the seeming explanation, we'll start with Rashi. Rashi seems to say, like in the first Rashi in the Masechta, that you don't have to bring anything. That's it. That's the seeming explanation of the Gemara. You can come or you cannot come. You can come with a korban or you can come without a korban. What does v'lo yiro panei rikam mean according to Rashi? All it means according to Rashi is that you have a choice. That's what it means according to Rashi. You have a choice. If you want, like the Gemara says, you can ayil mischazi v'nafik, come, be seen by Hashem, and leave. V'lo yiro panei rikam means that if you decide to bring a korban, so it has to be something of value. That's what it means. I think something of value. And according to Rashi, it would come out, and the Mishnah says the rayon is a mal kesef, it has to be worth a kesef. That, even though the Gemara said before, in the assumption of the Gemara, that's only the Rabbanan, it would come out according to Rashi, it would be Doraisa. That V'lo Panei Rikam is telling me, that's what the Chiddush V'lo Panei Rikam. Don't come empty-handed. If you choose to come, you have to bring something of value. So bring something of value, bring at least a mal kesef, a valuable animal. And of course, it would have to be something that is a behemoth, not an oaf. Oaf is something which is not significant. You can go to the super, you can go to the makola, the supermarket, you can buy chickens very cheap. Cow meat is going to cost you a lot more money, or for sure lamb meat. Now, that's Rashi's shita. Tosfos, who holds that you have to bring a korban, right? And it seems the Rambam also holds like Tosfos, you have to bring a korban for all Israel. So what do you do with the pasuk? Mani b'chinam avatam b'chinam. What do you do with the Gemara? The pligi v'ayil mischazi v'nafik. So this is what we're going to say to answer Tosfos over here. The ayil mischazi, you have to come mischazi b'sima Hashem v'nafik. V'nafik doesn't mean to leave. It means to be yotze your chova. It means all the Gemara is saying over here is that this is how we reconcile the two psukim. Madna v'lo yirah panei rikam means you have to bring something. You shouldn't be empty-handed. That's why it says rikam. It should be empty-handed. It sounds right. It shouldn't be empty-handed. Have something. It doesn't mean you have something of value. Mani b'china avatam b'china means that you can even be yotze midoraisa. You could be yotze with a davar shebekdusha, even though the Gemara says on Dav Zayin Amid Beis Kol Davar Shebechova and Malachulin, it says that Ol Suriyah is one of those things. It has to come minachulin. It has to come minachulin. You can't use something that already has kedusha like Meiser Sheni or Meiser Bechor or previously vowed offering. Even though the Gemara says that Ol Suriyah, that it would only be, would say that Gemara on Zayin Amid Beis is only the Rabbanan. That's only the Chadchila. Midoraisa, in order to reconcile the two different Gemaras, we say Midoraisa, you can just come even with something of lesser value. You have to bring a korban, but it could be of lesser value. Hi, Shmuel.
Hi.
It could be, I'm just giving Iyun with Benzion over here to say hi. But
Hi.
What we're saying over here is that it could even be of lesser value. It could be, as long as it's not empty-handed completely. So therefore, Kol Davar Shebechol V'Einam Ben Achul is only the Rabbanon. It's not the Raisa, and you can come anything with something inconsequential. And that's why the Rambam says even an oath. The Gemara before brought the Bryce, that was only in the Havamina. But the Maskana is even an oath, even though it's not consequential, it's not something chashuv. But since it has some value, it's not considered Rikam, it's not considered empty-handed, you have at least something. So therefore, that's how we reconcile the psukim, and that's why Chinam You have to bring something, but it's free. Why is it free? Because since you already, it has Meiser, the Meiser Sheni has Kedusha, you have to eat it in Yerushalayim. You have to use it already for something. The Meiser Sheni or the Meiser Bechor, you have to use it for something. So it's already, you can't use it for whatever you want. It's not really your money anymore. It's really Hashem's money. So it's considered kind of for free if you just pay it off by using it for your Olas Re'iyah. There's nothing you can do with it. You can't use it for your own purposes. So pay off your chov, pay off your Olas Re'iyah by using something you already have. Pay off with points. You have points, use them. It's considered free. It is considered free at that point. But it is something. It is something. It's not v'lo upon Rikam. It's chinam, well, not Rikam. You have something. And therefore, when it says ma has to, the Re'iyah has to be ma kesef, that we'd have to say according to Tosas we build Rabbanon, because even if it's less than a significant value, $100, even if it's an oath, even a bird, it would be okay. Chicken, it would be okay because it's all. And therefore, we'd have to say that when the Gemara in Zion base says it's kolor zechova and menachul, and that is only a din Rabbanon. Between Rashi and Tosos is din of kol davar zechova b'chova in a bal menachul, and according to Rashi, it'd be din daraisa. According to Tosos and the Rambam, it would only be a din Rabbanon, and that would also explain the end of the Mishnah on Zion Hamid Beis, where the Gemara, the Mishnah cryptically says, Yisrael Yotzi Nechavasam Daram and Adavos Meiser Behema. It just automatically sticks in Yisrael Yotzi Nechavasam Daram and Adavos Meiser Behema. They could use Davar Shabachova. They could use Chulin. They could use something which is Kedusha already. What about Kol Davar Shabachova and Chulin? So Rashi answers the Seifa is talking about Shamei Simcha, but according to Tosos and the Rambam, we can say that really the Seifa of the Mishnah is really talking about Lechatchila, is talking about the Din Daraisa. Daraisa you could use for an Olas Re'iyah. It's not talking about Shabbos Tim, it's talking about Olas Re'iyah. On the Daraisa level, you could use, because it says Ma'ani B'chinam Abatam B'chinam, you could use something that has Kedusha already. Midarabbanan, that was the beginning of the Mishnah, talks about that it has to be Menachul and Midarabbanan. Lechatchila. Hope you enjoyed today's Iyun with Benzion. It was great.
Great.
Shmuel says great. I don't know. You have to come tomorrow to the regular daf. We need you.
Tomorrow, Thursday.
All right, bye.